Hello, YouTube. Chris here, and I'm just going to do some ranting here. I'm a Uber driver here in Springfield, Missouri market, and been enjoying the most of it. I'd say 98% of it has been fairly good. But I just recently came across um, two cases, two riders that have just, it seems like Uber is just not backing me up, not taking care of me, and so out of frustration and to help other people out there, I know there's other gentlemen out there on the YouTube. They have their own channels, and I've actually watched them, and they have given me great advice. Uberman and the rideshare guy are two of my favorites, and so check them out. Go to YouTube, um, put in rideshare guy or Uberman, and all of their videos will pull up. But anyway, getting back to my videos about. So last night I picked up a couple down at a downtown bar. It was about 2:30 in the morning. Um, got the request, got the ping, went down, picked them up. Had to sit for about 10 minutes, waiting for them to come out. But they contacted me and they said that they would, if I could wait, it would be great. But don't start the trip. That they would give me cash, and that it was a very long trip. Um, so I did. I could park easily. Uh, Three people got into my vehicle, and they were drunk, but it was a downtown bar. Anyway, so with Uber, you don't know where the destination is until after you start your trip, and um, then you know where you're going, and it. So once they got in, and I started my trip, and it showed Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Now, I work out of Springfield, Missouri, so Oklahoma City, Oklahoma is it. I think it was like 270 miles or somewhere around there. And so I asked the rider. I said, "It shows that we're going to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Is that where we're actually going?" And she said yes. Um, and so I thought in my head real quick if I could actually do that, and if I was, um, would be able to safely drive, and felt that I could. Um, so I said, okay, yeah, I can do that. And so started heading out of town, and she said, "Hey, can we stop by this house and drop off this one gentleman that was with them?" And I said, "Sure." So I stopped, and he got out, and we headed down to uh, towards Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Now, because she was intoxicated, the other gentleman with her was completely passed out. I mean, he as soon as he hit the back seat, he would start snoring. So I asked. I said, "No, we're going to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma." I said this about 3 or 4 times in the trip. Made sure that my GPS was good and loud, so she would hear all the turn by turn, and that it would be 5 or 6 hours before we would actually get there. She kept on saying yes, yes, that she had a meeting in the morning in Oklahoma City, and that she had decided not to take a flight, that she would just Uber it down there. Well, whatever. So we started headed down that way. An hour and a half into the trip, I'm down around Joplin, Missouri, I think it was. Uh, she wakes up. She had fallen asleep during the time once we dropped off the other gentleman, and so head to Oklahoma. So she wakes up and she goes, "Where the heck are we?" And I said, "Oh, we're just about coming into Joplin." And she freaks out. She's like, Joplin? She's like, what are we doing there? And I said, we're going to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, just like you had put in your destination. And she's like, I don't want to go to Oklahoma City. So, we had to go and deal with all that. You can imagine. So I told her, I said, well, I asked you 3 or 4 times. You put it in the app, in the app as your destination. She's like, oh, you have got to take me back to Springfield. And I was like, well, I can do that, but this trip's already in. I'm at that point probably 80 miles into our trip. And so I said, okay, I can turn around. I said, where are we going? And she gave me the address. And when she gave me the address, it was very familiar. It was the same exact address that was in the destination, except Springfield, Missouri, not Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And I kind of put 2 and 2 together, and she must have went and just clicked on the wrong address. Now, Springfield market had just opened up, I think about 3 weeks now. So learning this, and this is my first long trip, but we were told in our meeting that when a rider requests a ride, whatever the destination is automatically like pre-authorized on their credit card. And so, you take someone all the way to California, and if their credit card will hold it, you can go. So because I got the trip and everything, I figured, hey, we're golden. So I, in my app, I put in the address that she wanted. I asked her to put it in, but she's like, I don't want, I already messed up once, so can you just please do this for me? So I did, and it rerouted me, turned us around, and everything else. So I head back to Springfield. As she, I guess, sobered up more, she became more and more upset about this, and almost to the point where she was almost accusing me of, I don't want to say kidnapping. She didn't use those words, but that, she wasn't going to pay for this trip. And I said, well, ma'am, then I'm going to end the trip right here. So on the way back, there was a couple times where, I pulled over and I said, listen, if you're not, paying this and we have this problem, I don't need you here, or I'll deal with this later. I'm going to, here's a safe place. You can do what you need to do. But you're not going to be able to get an Uber because it's outside the market. And here in Missouri, it's not open. In fact, had I taken her all the way to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the way I understand it, I couldn't even get anything back to Springfield, Missouri, back to my market, which was deadheading. It's empty miles. But that's something that you have to take into consideration when you take these longer trips. But I was willing to do it. It was good money. And so she's like, well, you can't just leave me here at this truck stop, I think is where we were at the time, in Mount Vernon, Missouri. And so she's like, just take me to the destination, take me home. And I said, okay. So I did, got her off safely and everything else. And I logged off and went home and got some sleep. And so I sent in everything over the app to Uber, and figured, that they would figure it out and get everything taken care of. So I come back online later on that day, and it shows 0 for payment. And so you can imagine, I went 138.65 miles and spent 147 minutes on that trip, and it shows 0. Now, I sent this into Uber like, hey, why am I getting paid? And they sent me back a message saying, we always strive to have courteous people, on the platform, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to have YouTube paired anymore. Thank you for being professional in this and blah, blah, blah. Professional, listen, I need to get paid. This I just want to warn you guys, people. Now, I sent in a reply, and I'm waiting back. But it seems like if I was going to get paid, it would show in my trip fares that how much I'm going to get paid. And even after that reply, it still shows 0. People, I'm going to tell you, there's another incident, and I'm going to probably make a video about that, but I want to keep this incident on this video here. Uber's not taking care of us. I don't know. You know, you have to send in emails. I want to speak to someone, and there's no one to talk to on the phone. All this technology, all this stuff going on, this great app and everything else, and you can't pick up the dang phone and call someone and say, hey, this is what's going on. You got to send messages, and then you get God knows who on the other end that either misinterprets or whatever your message, and so then you get some stupid ass reply back about not being paired anymore. Just be careful out there, guys. I want to see how this turns out, but if this don't turn out well, I don't know. I may be done, because this ain't. I figured it up. It's about $160 some odd dollars that's due to me, and I have gas that put out, my time that put out. My guess, and this is just what I'm guessing, is that when it went to go charge, the credit card probably didn't take it. I don't know. But that's not my fault. That's not my problem. I need to get paid. There needs to be some safeguards in there. So if you could, guys, like, share this. Please share the heck out of this. Let's get the word out on this. And rideshare guy, Uberman, if you are able to watch this, send me some information. You know, help me out here a little bit. We're kind of new to this. We have a Facebook page here in Springfield of us Uber drivers. It's called Uber Drivers of Springfield, Missouri. Check it out. Jim Sharp is the administrator, so look that up. We're looking, it just seems, everything we were told in the meeting prior to launching this here in our city about 3 weeks or a month ago now, it's just not ringing true. Just frustrated. I know this. Thanks for watching. If you watch this all the way to the end, thanks for hearing this rant. Appreciate it. Like and comment, and we'll go from there. And thanks, guys. Appreciate it.